Alright, so I figured this might be worth making a video on. This is not usually what I work on the channel. Most of the stuff I work on is like that hit and miss engine or all that on the shelf, but this is a newer piece of equipment. It's a Stihl mm40, what is it, mm55. It's basically a Stihl mm55 tiller, but it's got this sweeper attachment on it. I don't know what the purpose of the sweeper is because I just see it being a dust stirrer upper, but I think it probably has something to do with finishing concrete, but maybe somebody in the comments knows exactly what this thing's specific purpose is. I don't know if it has a year on it or not. No, I don't see a year on it. It does have a dealer sticker on the front of it. It says power equipment, the lumber barn from Newbury, New Hampshire. I don't know how it ended up down here this far, but so I'm working on this for somebody, so it's actually not mine. And they just said that it wouldn't prime, fuel wouldn't prime, so it wouldn't start. So what it is this thing has this little funny looking tube that goes down in the gas tank. Most Stihl stuff has that. And it's dry rotted and broken, so we're going to replace all that. It was $11 for that, or I could get new carburetor and everything for like 14 bucks. So I've got new air filter, got a new carburetor, new spark plug, new gaskets, new fuel filter, and an extra primer bulb. So I know there's 1,000 million videos on YouTube about how to work on like 2-cycle small engines and such, but video's been pretty short here lately, so I figured I might as well make one on this. It'd probably be video worthy. And I guess I can do some talking while I work on it. So I got my handy little toolkit thing. We'll get this air filter off of here. So this is actually what I used to do, was work on small engines and stuff. I still do, but I used to do it for like to make money. I used to buy, fix, and sell stuff like this: tillers, weed eaters. Yeah, that air filter's nasty. Basically anything with a small engine on it, I would fix it, and that air filter is pretty stopped up. I like how it's almost like a little car air filter for a modern car. And pretty nifty choke deal they got there. I used to buy not working weed eaters and then get them running, sell them. So before I had an actual job, that's what I did. And there we go. That is a 8mm. So we're going to remove the carburetor. It's actually on studs, so some of them aren't. Some of them have through bolts, and a lot of times the studs will come unscrewed with the carburetor. I apologize for videos being so short here lately. Haven't really had much going on that I thought was video worthy. Peel this whole gasket off. I have a new one. That gasket wasn't even seated. So what you got to do to get this throttle cable off, I'm trying to show this. I can get a better angle. What you got to do to get the throttle cable off is kind of walk the plate forward, and then this should slide off. Take the fuel inlets off of it. This is probably a OEM carburetor. Well, yeah, probably OEM carburetor. It's probably still good actually, but that gasket wasn't seated at all. That needs to be cleaned. Don't like that. Alright, let's see if I can get this out of here. This is the actual problem. I think maybe it was a carburetor. There's a little fuel filter, which is actually pretty dirty. And there's really not much in the tank, so yeah, carburetor was probably the problem. I don't see anything wrong with that, but got new ones. So, so that just does that then. Okay. Maybe the carburetor held that in place, I don't know. Now I see it's got a little locating pin. There we go. So, get a rag. I'll wipe some of this off, and that's just gonna and we will replace the spark plug and such too. So this is probably a pretty short video. At least I hope it is. Get a little bit of acetone. Wipe this surface down. Make sure it's perfectly clean. So definitely going to be doing some hit and miss engine stuff here soon on the channel, because got this Satley over here that I need to get to working on. I'm also going to go on ahead and wipe down this side of the new carburetor. So you can see the piston in there, and there's still machining marks on the side of the cylinder. It looks like. Starting to think it barely broke in. There's still machining marks in the piston. There's definitely no scoring on the cylinder. There's still crosshatch. Yeah, that's definitely a good engine. Alright, so we have our new fuel filter and our new, whatever they call this, fuel line. Filter is going to pop on like that. And the two long ends are going to be above the tank. Slide that down in there. Pop this in just like that. It should be alright. I'm going to bring this up here. Try to get it to stay where it belongs for 2 seconds. Now I can get the new carburetor that I've wiped down. And this is your return, this is your inlet. So I'm going to talk about the gasket before I put all this on. There are two holes in this gasket. These are for the vacuum from the crankcase. Comes through this hole on the carburetor and operates your fuel pump. I have seen people mess up before and not use the right gasket because they send you two, and one of them's for the air filter side. And I've seen people mess up and use the one for the air filter side on the carb side, and then you have no crankcase vacuum to operate the fuel pump itself. Should have brought my pliers. I hate their design here. This really makes this kind of cumbersome to work on. Throttle does operate. And see, this thing here is pinched to gasket back there behind it. Yeah, I don't particularly care for their design on any of this. Sorry for getting my head in the way. I'm trying to make sure this gasket is seated all the way around. Worst thing for these is a vacuum leak. You'll burn them up. So now the gasket without the hole can go on the air cleaner side. And where did I do with that air cleaner? There it is. I'll wipe that down. There we go. Everything seems to fit back together all right. I see people use power tools doing this right here too. I don't recommend that. Just from personal experience, I don't recommend using power tools on like weed eater engines. Don't over tighten these. You ain't putting the lug nuts on a dump truck. That's loose, so that's not going to cause an issue. See if the throttle operates. It seems to. There's a little tube where the throttle cable used to go is in the way. Alright, so I'll shut the camera off. Alright, so now I can reinstall the air filter. Sorry for some of the bad angles in this video. This is just kind of a quick video to use as a filler. Kind of like the spark plug video that I just made. Here's a brand new air filter. Install it in the air filter housing like such. And install the air filter housing. It's the wrong size of those. Little kits like that are handy for this. And so while we're at it, I guess I can, I do know this has spark because we poured gas in the cylinder to make sure it would actually run. And the spark plug I noticed last night was loose. Yeah. See what we've got here. We have a NGK. It's a pretty good spark plug. Never had much dealings with NGK spark plugs, and the one that's going back in it is the one that come in the kit's a SAP spark plugs, and it says it's a copper core. Looks to be the same. I don't know which one's better, the NGK or the SAP, I guess what you'd say. But I'm going to put the new one in it. I have to go get a spark plug socket to tighten it up, but I'm going to put the new one in it. And I'll see about getting a little bit of gas. And we can see if this thing will fire up. Probably have to do some tuning. Alright, so I've got it all put together. I got about a half a tank of gas in it. Prime it and see if it'll start. Already a good sign. We got plenty of fuel up to the primer bulb. Put on full choke. Oh, I like that. The motor turns. Well, I guess it runs pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna have to do any tuning on that carburetor. Yeah, that actually did rather well. No vacuum leaks, no high idle issues. Seem to be running about the right fuel mixture. So I'll get this back to my neighbor, and hope everybody enjoyed watching the short little video. This is an example of what I used to do pretty much all the time. I still enjoy working on two-stroke engines, but I just don't do it as much as I used to. Stihls are always just great to work on, seems like. Hope everybody enjoyed this little video, kind of how to do this. I just did it. I literally have been out here like 30 minutes. I just got home from work, so I just decided I wanted to work on something different. There'll be some better videos coming up here in the near future. Hopefully we'll have a pretty neat little adventure coming up here. So I guess that'll be it for this video, and we'll see everybody in the next one.